All right, guys, forgive the background. I hope it's looking okay. I wanted to get somewhere with good lighting, so I'm actually here on my balcony, not in the normal office space. It's been a while. I'm a little bit off of the YouTube routine, but I did want to get on here to make one more, probably last video about the hair, and that's because I got the second one. So yeah, I think the 1 year mark is a good time to do it, and I just wanted to share, of course, my experience living with this second hair transplant, because it's definitely different from the first. I hope you guys can already get a decent look at it. As you can see, the length is long. Like from this side, it definitely has some volume coming off of my forehead. And same thing here. You can see that the strands and the texture, it's just a lot longer than it was before, and that's the look that I'm going for. Second hair transplant, I would say, has gone fantastic. It's pretty much exactly what I wanted, and that was basically like the cherry on top. It wasn't necessary. The first one was good enough. I don't think I needed it. It's more like something I wanted. So yeah, if you get one hair transplant and you're fine with that, there's no need to go for a second one. Don't feel like there's anything like that. It's definitely boosted the styles and the range of things that I can do with my hair. I feel like with this second hair transplant, I've basically unlocked like all hairstyles that I want to be able to do. So that is another thing that's really changed. The key part about that, for like I said, unlocking basically all the hairstyles or any new hairstyles that I've wanted to play with, was because before this part would go up really high. So anytime I parted my hair here, the line was quite high. It was like, let's say, here, and then there was hair like hanging off a gap. Like if you split the hair in the middle, there's a gap here, and you can tell that there's a gap when you're pulling hair over skin or empty space where there should be hair. So that's why I couldn't do it before. But now, like, I'll lift this hair up. Now the line is fine. Look at that. Oh man, that's just. I don't look at it every day, but now I just picked it up and I saw that hairline. Oh, look at that! Oh my goodness, it's a beautiful hairline. So I'm appreciating it even more while making this video. So I'm glad for doing that. But yeah, you can see there, it's pretty sharp. It's pretty nice. It's pretty thick. They reinforced a lot of my hair with that second hair transplant. They didn't only put hair in like new areas. They also put hair where there already was hair. So it basically, like I said, it reinforced it. It made it stronger, thicker, more volume, and I think that has also made a difference, because when you part your hair, if the density is not good, if it's not thick, and I don't want to say luscious because my hair is not that great, right? But something in between, then it doesn't look the same, and it doesn't look right. I don't want to say it doesn't look right, but it doesn't look as good, and it's like flat, and you can kind of see through the hair, and it doesn't have that pop that you see a lot of the time with. I mean, if you're in Asia, just take a look at any media outlet. Like all the guys in all the magazines, all the TV shows, all the adverts, they all have incredible hair. And definitely, the part is one of the key parts of it. No pun intended. So yeah, I'm loving that part. It's like before I already had a boost in confidence. Of course, this just put it probably over the top. Now I'm just very comfortable with my hair. I definitely would recommend it. Yeah, from the sides, like I feel awesome about my hair. Honestly, it kind of sounds like a bit narcissistic to say that, but I really do. Like these lengthy parts here, they just feel great. And sometimes like they move a little bit in the wind, or when when you shake your head. When I'm blow drying my hair, it just has such good length and thickness. That's just, my hairs are very thick. I'll give you guys a really up close. My hairs are quite thick to begin with, so if you put a lot of them together, so I'm loving that part. I think it's definitely made a difference. So I would recommend that. Now I'm just growing my hair out, because now that I got the full effect of the hair transplant, the next part, the final part, I guess I could say, is learning how to style it correctly. Because, like, for example, I went to like a newer, nicer hair salon, and they cut your hair in sections. If you have short hair, sections aren't even something you deal with, especially not as a guy, right? So they cut my hair in different like lengths and different sections, and that's something I have to get used to. And the other thing about the barbershop is they style it, miraculously when you're there. You also have to learn how to style it because it's hard to replicate that look, if you're not doing it right. If you're blow drying your hair like in the wrong direction, it will definitely not look the same. Like on mine here on the top, you can see I have it split right here. Like let's say it's 4/5 across. Before I was just blow drying it like straight across, and it wasn't the same. Really, I should have been doing it like a bit up. Blow drying it up, and for the hair to come a little bit off my forehead like it is here. So I kind of blow dry it up and forward a bit in the front at least. And then, of course, you're just trying to get it up and across, but don't like, for me, it was a mistake just blow drying it straight across because it didn't look right. It didn't have the volume or the swings in the front and things. So it looked a lot different and not nearly as good. One other quick thing is that on my last haircut, I would always part my hair on this side. Like the whole time I've had it, I never occurred to me to part it on the other side, but the barber did that, and it seems to have a better like volume or part or bust as far as the hairline is concerned. So that's about it, guys. I just wanted to make a quick one because I didn't, this, like I said, it'll probably be the last one. Heaven forbid I get a third one. I really don't need it, and it's not. I'm not even thinking about it. Oftentimes, when you get one, you'll be a second one might be on the horizon, especially after the 18-month mark. But now that I have this, like the thought of another hair transplant has not even entered my mind. I am so satisfied with this second one. I don't really see a need. There's other things I can do and should do that would improve, my, let's just say, my appearance or my confidence or physical health, mental health, etc., than a third hair transplant. So I do predict this will be the last video, the last hair video, kind of, sort of, maybe, at least as far as my progress. And I feel like I've said that before, right? But really, at some point, once you've gone through the process, especially after I've done it twice, and you kind of passed it. The hair, when you're in it, you're really in it, and you're researching and you're watching a lot of videos, and you're really worried about your results and planning and waiting that whole. So it's a long process from the time you start like experiencing hair loss to the time you start planning to get a hair transplant to the time you actually have saved up and have all the time and stuff to get it. And then even when you get it, you have to wait a year. So this is like normally a multi-year process. But, once you're out on the other side, and I feel like I'm thoroughly on the other side, times two, like I said, with the cherry on top, then there's not really much reason to keep making hair videos. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know. Leave something in the chat, leave a comment. I'll be happy to get back. I get back to all the comments. I do them, pretty late sometimes. But last funny little thing that I will end off with is, I'm not sure what to call it, but it's just like it's an interesting sentiment that I have nowadays. Sometimes when I go in the bathroom and I think about this because it used to be me. So let me just give you the scenario, the example. Now, when I go into the bathroom and I'm doing my hair, it's quite long, and I'm like pushing it across. After I've washed my hands, I'm turning on the side, I'm looking on this side. Sometimes there's someone next to me and they have no hair, especially if they're young. Then I kind of just think, that used to be me. And I remember that feeling when I was bald and I had no hair. And there would be some guy next to me with just amazing hair, like super long and flowing and styled and with product in it and just looking amazing. And I don't know, I don't want to say I would feel bad, but of course it's like, I don't know what metaphors there are, but let's just say there's like some guy who looks like a Greek god right next to you, and you're like a short, scrawny, or even fat, out of shape person. Like, you're like, wow. Or if you're like really poor and there's like some super rich person next to you, that's kind of like the sentiment, maybe to a more or lesser degree. But so now I have that on my mind, and I try not to overdo it, like making a big scene or anything. But I just think, that, not too long ago, that used to be me, where I was silently thinking, in my head, man, imagine if I had hair like that guy, who's like in the mirror, definitely like into his hair, getting all the strands right, patting it down, making sure there's no flyaways and stuff like that. So that to me is coming full circle. That is full circle. That's just, it in a nutshell. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy for you guys. I've gotten in touch with so many of you guys who have decided to do hair transplants. If you're thinking about it, yeah, I already recommended 100 times. There's no doubt about it. You don't have to go to the clinic I went to or anything like that. I just think it's a good idea in general. I was making a joke with a friend the other day. We need a hair loss awareness day. We have so many of these like days, especially these international days. Hair loss awareness day, man, that's actually like silently a big one, especially, well, for guys, of course, because it mainly affects guys, and especially for younger guys. So I said it as a joke, but I actually think, that could be something. It's just it's not talked about. It's a little bit quiet, but hey, we'll leave it there. Here for now, we got a comment I see here. How does the density compare to your hair that you had before you lost the hair? Okay. Oh, I see. Like my original hair. Like, yeah, way back. That was when I was a teenager, because I started losing my hair, at the end of university. So man, it's hard for me to remember exactly, honestly, because it was so long ago. I'm 33, and let's just say you're referring to the time when I was like, 20, 21. I started losing it around 22 when I graduated. So that was a good dozen years ago. I would say it's not as good, but it's close. Not as good, but close. Yeah, I think it will be hard to restore your natural, especially like, teenage density. The other thing is, when I was at that age, I didn't even think about my hair. My hair was fantastic, right? Like none of us did. So it's not like I ever consciously got, up close in the mirror and looked at my density or anything. Really, I think most guys don't really start to think about it until they kind of start seeing, the bump here, the push, the receding temple area. So yeah, I would say it's not as good, but close, And really, that density and this density are both good. So I'm happy with both of them. But yeah, hey, thanks for the question there in the comments. Bob Lully, that might be the first one I've replied to live online. Anyways, hey guys, let's leave it there. Any other questions or comments, put them in the comments. I'll write back to them. But hey, signing out from Bangkok. I'll make some other videos. I'm loving life here in Bangkok, Thailand. I'm so settled in, over these past few COVID years, and now it's just like clear path ahead. I've got such a good setup here, and I would like to share with other people about how to do something. So, but hey, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother book library. All right, guys, let's leave it there. Take care. Adios.